DBSCG things.
What is up, you guys? My name is Taxn and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG things. Today I'm bringing you another exciting deck profile. This is going to be my undefeated deck profile from locals this week, shenron. But before I get into the deck, guys, I do want to say if you want any custom mats and or sleeves, check out Pro Mats, guys. They do a phenomenal job. They did mine and my team's and we all love them. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to go check them out. And also, guys, if you like today's deck or just my content in general, consider subscribing, hitting the like on this video, and also hitting the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload a video. And with that being said, let's turn this camera around and look at this deck. Alrighty, guys, so here's the deck. Now let's go over some of the choices that I made for it. So the leader, if you don't know, you should by now, but I'll go over what he does real quick. Auto, when he attacks on the front side, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you get to add 1 Shadow Dragon among them to your hand and then shuffle your deck. Auto, at the end of your turn, you get to choose a Shadow Dragon in your battle area, stand it to active mode, and then your Awakening is at 3 or less life. You get to draw 2 cards, stand 1 energy, and flip them over. On the back side, you attack and draw. Auto, just like on the front side, but instead of just 1 dragon, it's all your dragons. And then activate main, that rarely comes up, but when it does, it can close games. Tap 6, play 7 Shadow Dragons with different names from your drop area. So that's the leader. So we're going to start off with my super combo split. I run 3 Krillins and 1 Zamasu. Zamasu just being a great option for yellow, helping you lean more towards a control route, stopping 2 attacks in 1 card is just phenomenal. Also, if you catch someone slipping, maybe you show them one of these early and they don't think you run Zamasu, you can catch them slipping and then rest the leader with this, stopping one of their draws. So very, very clutch card. Krillin, not too much to say about Krillin. One of the things I like about him is that if I want to restart my shenron chain with the revenge blocker, I can always bottom deck the 4 cost from my hand and then get the draw 2 from that, and then the 1 drop does play from deck. So there's my split for that. Next up, we do run 2 Vegeta Final Flash. Probably one of the best extra cards for yellow right now, honestly. It's an activate battle for 1 yellow energy. Choose one of your leader cards or battle cards. It gets plus 15 power for the duration of the turn battle. And then if all your energy is yellow, when you activate this card, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and ignoring barrier, and skill negate it for the turn. Very great defensively if you want to survive an attack. Very great offensively if you want to push, or very great defensively if you want to just skill negate something and take 1 strike. Next up, we run 3 Flying Nimbus, probably the worst card I played in the deck this weekend. Honestly, if you want to negate in this deck, just play Power of the Super Saiyan. This card did nothing for me this weekend. Every single time I used this, I did not pitch, so basically I just used that as a hard negate and never actually used the effect of the card. So I do think Power of the Super Saiyan would just fit this slot way better, get you a draw, and then also if you do need it for a negate and attack. So there's that. Getting into some of the dragons, we got 3 of the 1 drop with a free activate main that pulls this from deck. So the Rage Shenron package, 3/3. I used to have this at 4/4, but I wanted to drop my deck from such a high number to a slimmer number. This card is probably one of my favorite packages in the deck. Getting this off turn 1, even if you can't attack, going into this turn 2, having 2 open energies for an ally's absorbed, and then also the 4 cost is just amazing. And then having self-awakening pressure, which is just good to get you down to that 3 life earlier so that you can hit that awakening effect with your leader. Very, very good card. I'm sure, as you've seen in the video, this makes your first attacking turn very, very powerful. Like when I was versing Kidku in the finals video, which you guys probably seen by now, I swang with this off the rip on my turn 2, and then immediately went to the 8 drop, and then just absorbed it from the grave, and then just swang another big old crit. So this card's great. Putting the crit keyword skill into your drop area is just really, really good. Next chain, we got 4, 4, 4. Being that the meta's so slow right now, I wanted to max out these numbers so that every single time I board it, if it gets removed, I have a chance of still having another 9 drops so that I can continue doing this chain as many times as possible. If you don't know, this 1 drop here, you play it for 1, It has an activate main for 1. You can play this from your hand or deck. This has an auto on play, where you get to choose a rested battle card or leader card on your opponent's side of the field, and it can't attack during your opponent's next turn, which is great because everyone swings with their leader to get the draw. So the turn before you play him, if they swing lead, they're not going to be able to swing and draw with their leader next turn. It also has a removal skill where if it's removed, you just get to play the ball and draw a card. This is a big 9-drop that evolves over this guy for 1, making this a total of a 3 energy investment play, which is just crazy. Very, very good. Blocker Revenge, EX evolve for 1. Auto, whenever your opponent plays a battle card, you get to choose that card, ignoring barrier, and negate its skills for the turn. So every single time your opponent plays a battle card, it's just skillless for a turn. On-play autos will go off, which it is what it is, but like getting rid of blocker for a turn, or double strike for a turn, or triple strike, or crit, or anything like that is just great, because if they swing with it, you can just block and kill it. It also has a removal skill just like this, but instead of drawing 1, it draws 2 and just plays this. So there is that chain. Next up, we got 4 of the Oceanists, probably one of the best cards in the deck. Barrier Blocker, probably one of the best pairs of keyword skills that you can put into the drop area in this deck, and also one of the easiest ways to get this card in the drop area. Activate main, burst 1, discard this card, and then you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then add any mono yellow Shadow Dragon with an energy cost of 8 or less among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So very, very good. It replaces itself, lets you find anything you need at the time besides this guy, and then you just get to absorb this with the allies absorbed. Very, very good. 4 copies of Nova Shenron. This card's absolutely amazing. Unique, permanent if you have a dragon. If your leader's a yellow Shadow Dragon and you have a yellow Shadow Dragon in play, it's reduced by 3, so it's a 1 cost. Activate main, you can rest this card, burst 2 from the top of your deck, and then you get to grab a battle card with an energy cost of 2 to 4 with 19,000 power or less that doesn't have a matching name with any card that you have in play. So this is going to be the card that just continuously puts out battle cards and helps you keep as many bodies on field as possible. This is also the card that's going to help you cheat out probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. Next up, we got 3 allies absorbed Omega Shenron. Unique, comes out for 1 energy. You get to pop, I believe it's like 2 to 4 costs or like something like that. Yep. You get to pop a 4 cost or less, and then draw a card and then play them. Also has an activate main. You get the option to rip a life and then grab a 2 to 4 cost from your drop area, warp it. And then as long as it's not, you can't choose Shenron, and then you get the skills. So basically anything that's not this package here, you get to grab the skill. You can grab this skill, you can grab this skill, and a couple more skills that I haven't showed you yet. Probably one of the best cards in the deck. Honestly, I really regret running this at 3. This should definitely be a 4 of. I versed Finn, and I played this early game. I gave a barrier for like 1 turn. Next turn I couldn't give a barrier because I just didn't see enough Oceanuses. And once it didn't have barrier, it was gone, and I'd never seen another one, so I could never play it again. Another rough thing about the Finn matchup is that this card has unique, so he took it from me and then re-spit it back out, and then I could just never play another one to get the effects unless they comboed him off, so that was rough. But anyways, yeah, play this at 4. I ran 2 Ice Shenron. This is going to be your extra versions of this or this. So essentially you run 6 copies of this and or 5 copies of this. Or this is a 2 cost counterplay that just is a crusher ball basically. You'll never use that effect. I do play this card sometimes with this card's effect if I really need to, just to have that extra body on field to swing with. Very, very good. Plays the ball if you don't see it in your mulligan hand. And also it can start up any chain at any point in the game if you need it to, if you just don't have the ball in hand. So very, very good card. I'll put it over here. Another card that I run is this Oceana Swift Spirals. This guy is a dual attack, auto burst 1 if your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and it's your opponent's turn. When this card is using a combo from your hand, you get to choose up to 1 of your Shadow Dragon cards in your battle area and switch it to active mode. I actually used this during the weekend against Finn. I believe I blocked with this guy. He didn't combo up high enough to kill him or make it even too much of a threat, so I really just dropped one of these, bursted one from the top of my deck, stood him to active so I could block, revenge another attack. This card's really, really good, being that you can stand any one of these and just block twice with it. Very, very good. It's also a dual attack, so if you're going for game, you can absorb it with him and then swing twice. Next card, probably one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. Surprise Attack, Natron Shenron. He's a double striker. He EX evolves over a Natron Shenron with energy cost of 2. You'll never do that. He has an auto. If your leader card is yellow, when your opponent plays a battle card and or a Unison, you can choose that card and switch it to rest mode. If you do, you negate the skill for the turn. This auto goes into pending every single time your opponent plays a battle card or Unison. As long as you don't use that skill, it doesn't negate. So you can choose when to trigger that. So if your opponent plays a Unison, if you don't want to rest it, you don't have to. Next card they play, if they play a battle card you want to rest, you can rest it. This card is very, very good. This card helped me stop a Demagra for 2 turns in a row. I boarded this along with this and this on my turn 2 because I don't know, I just got pushed into awakening state really, really early, so I was able to make advantage out of that extra energy. So I ended up with him on field turn 2, and then going into their turn 2, they tapped 2 and played Demagra. I used his effect to rest the Demagra. Going into my turn 3, I played this dragon and just locked his leader down, or locked his Demagra down, so that made it essentially 2 turns where I just didn't get attacked with Demagra. This card's just really, really good. 2 of that dragon. Another card that I run way too little copies of in this deck. 2 Hey Shenron, Venomous Mist. This is probably one of the best cards in the deck, honestly. It's a double strike, 20k. This card's super phenomenal. You can absorb it with this if you want to give him double strike. And also it has a skill when it attacks or is comboed. You can choose a dragon in your hand and discard it, and then choose a battle card on your opponent's side of the field with an energy cost greater than the current energy that they have and KO it. So if you combo this defensively, let's say your opponent's going in with a big boss monster, you can just combo this from hand, pitch basically any card in your deck, pitch it, and just kill it if it's bigger than your opponent's. So this is great against Overwhelms, this is great against any Evolve Chain, this is great against my own deck, great against Gogeta Xeno, just very, very good. If you want to play this deck, play this at 4. I don't know why I didn't. I did manage to see this card every game all weekend. I actually seen 2 copies of it in my Finn matchup, and in his kill turn he played the 8-drop Finn, swing in, was about to do the dual attack shenanigans. I comboed this and kill it, and then he overwhelmed, tried to do another big attack. I comboed this and killed it. Very, very good card. Next card in the deck, I think 2 is a great number for this card. This is the triple striking, draw 1, warp 7 dragons from the drop to play him. He's very, very good. This is actually what got me my game in my finals. He's also a very, very easy way to get out the secret rare in this deck, which I'll talk about in a second. Unique triple strike, 30k. Not much to talk about him, honestly. If your opponent doesn't negate, you're probably going to dump and win, unless you're versing something that can kill him. Or just take one. If you're versing black, you got that. That I was super worried about that in the Finn matchup. That max saiyan, that tap 1, create a life, don't take no more damage. Anyways, great card. Next up, I run 1 copy of Machikabura, Plotting Revival. This is the Unison that's going to awaken your leader. Most of the time, I really don't do that because there's just so much self-awakening in this deck that if I really need to, I'm just going to self-awaken myself. But if it comes to that controlling of a matchup, I'll drop this and awaken on turn 4. His activate main is really, really good. You draw 1 card and then you get to choose a rested battle card on your opponent's side of the field, ignoring barrier, and that card just cannot be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. And keep in mind that does say till the end of your opponent's next turn, leaving it in rest mode, which you can just use the +1 and lock it again. -4 also super good. You get the -4 off it and then just choose any one of your opponent's battle cards, gain control of it, and switch it to active mode. So if you lock a boss monster, just keep locking it until you want to take it, and just take it. or just wait for your opponent to drop their secret rare and take their secret rare. Either way, great card. Whenever it blocks or whenever it just loses a marker, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Really good. So that's that Unison. I do run one other Unison, 2 copies of Vegeta Unison of Fury because I am scared of Gogeta Xeno. I just can't do nothing about it. So I main deck 2 of these in a best of 1 situation. If you guys don't know, you play him for 2. You can either rest him or rest anything else on your field, any one of your battle cards, adds a marker, and then you just -1. And then during your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot attack with battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy at all. So it just makes him stop all big guys and also makes him a shield, because once your opponent realizes that you're stopping their turns, they're just going to start dumping all their attacks into him. So very, very good card. Also, you can use him as a game ender. I never do. I never have came into a situation where I really needed to. But if you need to, you can -3 off him. You get to choose one of your opponent's energy, tap it to rest mode, give this card +5, and it gains double strike and dual attack. So this can be a really cool game ender if you need to. Last 2 cards of the deck, I run 1 Swift Retaliation Cooler. In the finals of locals this week, I was playing him, and I was really hoping that they were going to Sparking Negate because they were tapped out, but I was still worried about it, and I still had 3 energy up, so I was hoping for a Sparking Negate so I could counter and just end it anyways. But anyways, you guys know what Cooler does. It's counter. When it gets played, it replaces itself, and then if you have 6 or more cards in rest mode, you get to draw another card. So very, very good. Stops a counter and then draws a card, cantrips. Last card of the deck, Cell Xeno. Even with the errata on this card, being that the meta is so slow right now, you can easily see turn 5, being that you're just going to block like everything. You see turn 5, you rip 3 cards and you swing twice for Quad Strike. Very, very good. Also, he costs no energy, so if he's already boarded and this is already boarded, this is free on your turn 5, leaving this still active, and just a whole bunch more shenanigans. And also, this is the best combo of the game of this entire deck. So like I said, he's free. So if you have him boarded on turn 4 and him boarded on turn 4, going into your turn 5, you would just play this and then swing with it, and then if one of the few cards that they have left in hand was a negate, you just counter, and then dump your entire hand and combo your board. With that being said, guys, that is the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. If you guys like this video, mind hitting that subscribe button, hitting a like on the video. And also, guys, if you liked this mat that I did this video on, hit up Pro Mats. I'll leave a link in the description below. Go check them out. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you next time. See ya.